Alright, so I'm going to give my thoughts on X-Men Curse of the Mutants, which is the next major X-Men event to spin out of Marvel. Honestly, I'm usually excited about most events that they have, and this one not being a period piece like what Nation X or Divided We Stand was. Unfortunately, however, I'm just kind of disappointed with the story that they're choosing right now. For those of you who don't know, there's a one-shot that came out this week, and I actually forgot to pick it up while I was at the store. I'll have to go back next week and get it. But it deals with the death of Dracula, and there's like a huge uprising of vampires, which is supposed to happen in this event, and it's supposed to bleed out later on into the Marvel Universe. And honestly, I can't really say that I'm impressed with this. My first thoughts on it are quite obviously marketing gimmick. Since we have Eclipse out right now, we had True Blood, which actually started a couple of weeks ago, and since we're still on with the whole craze of vampires from last year still, figured, hey, what the fuck, why not go along with it? Victor Gischler is the one that's writing the main title of it, which is just X-Men. It's the first title that carries the name X-Men by itself in over 20 years, and this is the first story of it. Now, I have read stories in the past. A guy I borrowed some comics from who actually had the X-Men dealing with Dracula before, and he turned Storm into a vampire who called herself Bloodstorm, which, yeah, passable. But honestly, I'm just spelling marketing gimmick right here. I do have some reservations about Shadowland, which is the Daredevil event that they are planning on doing next week. While I am excited about seeing that character brought up into the spotlight, I'm not really crazy that they have to make a whole huge event out of it, even though Marvel says that they were going to stop the events. The fact that this is an X-Men event itself, I have no problem with, because I've always considered the X-Men to be a universe unto themselves in some ways, because they deal with, I mean, they're a team that pretty much deals with everything. I mean, there's some things even the Avengers don't deal with themselves. And I don't know, I'm not really too sure what to make of this. Besides the X-Men title, the only thing that I can tell you I do know right now is that we have a solo Namer the Submariner title, which is spinning out of this, and apparently there's some Atlantean vampires he has to deal with, which I've never heard of. I smell cheap tie-in. And we also have supposed to be a Rogue and, not Rogue, but Gambit and Storm miniseries. And of course, if we're doing vampires in the Marvel Universe, hey, what would the event be without Blade? I'm not really surprised that they're bringing him into this event, especially the only time that, or the last thing that I remember Blade being associated with vampires, and the closest that they had to that was the story arc that they had in Captain Britain and MI-13, and that wound up being the damnation of that title. While I am a sucker for the Marvel vampire stories, this one is kind of overboard with me. I'm not really sure where it's going to go from here. I will give the title an opportunity, but just considering what we have out there with the Twilight movie and a lot of the other vampire stuff right now, I just consider this a cheap marketing gimmick, so I can't really say that I'm too excited about this one right now. We'll just have to wait and see what comes of it.